Hi there, friends. It looks like we're live. I'm just going to let everything catch up with me here. Oh, wow. That came up fast. All right. Looks good. Bear with my internet a little bit because we do have a couple people doing things here while my husband is finishing up. Just getting my phone pulled up here. There we go. Perfect. Hi, Michael. Happy to see you here today. I hope you guys are having a good week so far. And hi, Heather. All right, so today I am going to be featuring the new Pretty Pink Posh release that went live today. It is a fantastic one. I'm excited to showcase a lot of the goodies featured in the release. I'm focusing on like the teacup themed elements. I'm going to mix and match it with some previously released products. I think it's going to be a super fun card. Hi, Jen. Hi, Donna. So happy to see you guys here today. So new release at Pretty Pink Posh. If you click over to my blog, which you can find at leahlassoncreates.com, I have shared a couple of really fun rainbow cards featuring some different products that I'm not using today in my live. So even more inspiration if you haven't checked those out yet. I believe the Instagram hop with Pretty Pink Posh happens next week. So there will be more inspiration and some chances to win prizes then as well. So keep that in mind. So I have a pretty good hour cutoff point today. So I did pre-do a bit of the work, but I'm going to showcase as much as I can today. But I have to head out of here to Josh has something he needs to do in Butte, and I have an ULEV dance fitness class at 4:30. It takes about half an hour to get there. So, oh, thank you. That is so weird. There is no name next to that comment, but I'm excited that you're here, and I'm excited to see what happens today too. Like I said, I have a thought in mind, but I don't know exactly how it's all going to turn out. I do want to mention that my card is a little bit inspired by another card from this release that Wanda Guest created. She used the strawberries on the teacup set, so I'm doing a little spin-off of that. So I did want to mention that I am inspired by that card as well. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Louise. I'm so glad to see you here today. Glad you were able to catch me live. Okay, well, we should probably get going. So I am going to switch the camera and we will get going. All right. So these are the different products that I am going to be featuring today. So out of the brand new products, I am featuring the Teacup Shaker. I'll be using the Tea Time the Tea Time stamp set, but I'm just going to use one of those little, one of these smaller little sentiments from it. It does have a coordinating die. I won't be using that today, but I thought I'd pull it out just to showcase that it has that die. And then I'm also using, what are these ones called? I have a hard time seeing them. Layered Teacups, the stencil set. And then finally, a couple of items that are previously released. So I am pairing it with the Fresh Mug Editions. And that's where I got the cute little strawberries, and it's where part of our sentiment is going to come from. And then also the sentiment strips. I just got these. I'm super excited about them. I feel like they are going to make using the all of the cute little sentiments that Pretty Pink Posh comes out with so much cuter and a little more polished. I'm super excited about that. So you'll see I did pre-do some things. Did a little bit of pre-die cutting. We'll cut one of the strawberries together just so you can see how it comes together. But I didn't want to have to do all of them, so I pre-did some. We'll see if we use them all. I did pre-cut the teacup so that all we have to do is really put the shaker elements together, which we will do together. But I thought having those pre-done was easy enough because you guys know how to die cut. And then we just have some cardstock, card base, a little extra cardstock. And this is the cardstock that we will ink blend the background onto. So I'm just going to change around my desk a little bit and we will get ready to go. Thanks, Heather. Hi, Leanne. I'm happy to see you as well. Right, got that there. Okay, move these out for now. I'm gonna set them aside. And my very well used, what are these called? Grip mats. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Mercedes. Okay, so these are, I feel like the exposure is a little dark on my overhead camera today, but I think we're just going to go with it because I don't feel like having to mess with it. So hopefully it's light enough that you guys can see it. So we have two stencils here. We've got A and B. So A is kind of the cup part, and then B is the outlines and details. So we're going to do these in two colors today. Now, my paper is 5.5 by 5.5, which is a little bit smaller than the 6x6 stencils, but I'm going to trim this down anyway. So I figure that will work. And I just got to get some washi tape here. Oh, I love that. It's your way of spending a rainy afternoon. Thank you. I appreciate that. We got snow this week in Montana. It snowed like all day on Monday. But now it didn't stick. It did in the mountains, but not down here. But now it's all nice and sunshiny. And so weather's always a little different in the spring in Montana. All right. So for the first stencil, I'm using peony ink, or you can use any shade of pink ink. But we are just going to blend some pretty pink mugs. And I'm not worried about blotting it off. I'm okay if I have a little bit of gradation and differentiation where the brush hits the side of the stencil and kind of pools the ink. I think that will just add to the whimsical nature of the background. All right. Looks like Jen is working, but it's quiet enough that she's able to watch, which I appreciate. Thanks so much for pulling it up and hanging out with me for the next hour or so. Okay. Let's see. I think that looks pretty good there. I just do a quick wipe down of the stencil so I don't get pink ink all over me. So for this one, you'll notice I aligned that stencil in the corner, and I just find that makes it easier to align the rest of it will make it easier to align the next stencil. So there's lots of ways you can do that, but I feel like with these stencils, that is definitely one of the easiest ways to go. Hi, Mindy. I miss seeing you live too. I haven't been able to pop in recently. I'll have to make sure I pop over to your channel here soon. Okay, so I am taking the time to align this set as best I can. Of course, there's always a little user error because I'm human, but we'll get this aligned as best as possible. Now, I think this layer would be really cute in gold. Like you could do gold paste. You could sponge in embossing powder and do gold heat embossing. But just to make it a little bit easier on myself for this live, I am just going to do it in red. But I think that this layer would be super cute in gold. I just think about like gold trim on all of those little elements and stuff. So I think that would be a super fun option. Aren't they adorable, Leanne? I love these little stencils. It's such a fun little set. All right, so for this one, we're going in with Berrylicious, which is just a nice red. And we're gonna have cute little pink and red teacups for our background. And I'm going pretty bold on these. I want the red to show up pretty well, so I'm not too worried about getting too much ink down. This would be cute for Valentine's Day with these colors as well. You could do a love themed tea card. I think that would be fun. I think that this set would also be really cute for like a winter card or even a Christmas card. Think of like wintry colors, like you could do red and turquoise. You could even just do shades of blue. I think there's lots of super fun color options for this set. I am probably going to have to do a gold version, Mindy, because I think that would be super fun too, but not for today's live. Would have taken a little bit too much time. Okay, let's see. Feeling pretty good about that. Just get that little guy down in the corner. I always find those ones on the corner or on the very edges of the stencils are always the hardest to get ink into. But I think that is pretty good. All right, let's just do a gentle wipe down here. I will clean the stencils a little bit more extensively when I end the live. Ooh, it's grabbing my little cloth here. The way that I clean my stencils is just with a little bit of rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle. And then I just buff it clean with a dry cloth. And it gets all of that ink residue off. And then it's pretty much instantly dry. So then you can grab your stencils and use them like right away. See ya, Lindy. Have fun. All right. Oh my goodness. Look at how cute that turned out. I just think that's adorable. It's a cute little background. All right, let's peel that guy off. We are done with stencils, so I am going to set all of the ink blending stuff aside, and I will set the stencils aside to clean a little bit later. Just put them up there. I don't need this anymore. Okay, I am just going to do a quick cleanup here, and then I'm going to step away for a moment and just trim this panel down to the size I need it to be. So I will be right back, but I will leave you with these fun things to look at while I do that. Thank you, Marianne. All right, I have trimmed it down to 4 by 5.25, so it will mount in my card base later on. I've got this lovely pink card base here. It's a very pink toned card today. But we will do that part later. Let's go ahead and do a little assembling of the shaker, and we will actually cut out the little strawberries as well. So for reference, those items are from the Teacup Shaker, which I've already cut all of the elements out, but just for reference to show you how I did that. So the Teacup Shaker die has two parts. It has the outer die, which if you leave this piece out, it just cuts the teacup shape. But then when you die cut them together, like so, it creates the little shaker window. I've also cut it from acetate. So So we have our little acetate window as well. Now, if you didn't want to turn this into a shaker, you could always cut the outline and then use the inner die to cut from a different color. And then that fits right in there. And you can build up just your shake, like your little teacup element or embellishment rather than a shaker. I know somebody that you could send a tea card to. That would be Heather Hoffman. She loves tea. And then I did die cut the little elements too, out the little tea tag and the little piece that hangs it on the side of the teacup. Me too, Leanne. They're super fun. Okay, so let's cut one of these together. That's these little strawberries that I have cut out here. I grabbed little scrap pieces of the different elements that I featured. And I just want to show you how I did this because if you haven't ever used this set, there are a couple of working parts to it. So first things first, let's cut it from white cardstock because that will be, let's see, I did cut it from this one earlier. This will be our base layer. So I'm just going to tape that down and cut it out. Exactly. Heather's not a coffee person, but she definitely loves tea, and it's a good way to get caffeine, as she mentioned. Okay, so there is our little base layer. I don't really need to keep the stem, so you could keep it if you wanted. I'm not going to hoard little tiny pieces like this. Oh, I think I need my other poke tool. These little holes are just super tiny. Thank you, Louise. I appreciate that. All right, so that can go. So we have our little heart-shaped strawberry base. So then let's go ahead and cut it from pink. Like so. Now you could always try to save some cardstock by not cutting out the parts you don't need. But this is such a tiny little piece of cardstock. I'm not really worried about that. Oh, sorry. Kind of shakes. Okay, so then we have our cute little heart strawberry, but we're not quite finished with that yet. We'll come back to it. While we're still using this die, let's cut out the stem. Now, the stem is one where you can kind of shorten it and you can save or get multiples on one little piece of green cardstock. Oh, goodness, Michael. That is crazy. My thing is coffee, I think. I think that's the drink I like the most, especially in the morning. That and water. Okay, so we are done with this one little die. So next we need to grab this cute little piece which cuts out all of the details. So you just want to center it as best you can on your heart, your little heart there, and then run it through. And it cuts out the cutest little heart-shaped pattern on your heart-shaped strawberry. And then you just got to poke out all of the little insides. Oh, goodness. And now you have all of the pieces you need. I almost threw that away today. Don't do that. Don't follow that. Let me just grab all the little tiny middles that cut away. All right, then we can assemble this and you'll see how cute it is. So something I love, and I talked about it in my post today with my rainbow cards, which I'll show you at the end of the live today. But I love die sets where I can use up all of the scraps. Scraps are kind of the one thing that I do hoard. I try to keep it in check for sure, but I have little bins of just pieces of cardstock that I didn't want to get rid of because, you know, you can use it for small dies like this. So I've been using it a lot with the small dies from Spellbinders, and it was perfect for using the rainbow cards that I made today with the wreath builder die set that came out from Pretty Pink Posh today. So I love that these die sets definitely allow me to utilize some of those colored cardstock scraps that I tend to kind of hoard. Okay, so there we have, look how cute these little strawberries are. How adorable. I just love these. So I've got 5 of them I can use in my card today. I don't know if I'll use them all, but I might. Off camera, I also cut out the word cheers. I cut it once from gold pearl, twice from white cardstock, and I just stacked and glued it together. And that is also in this Fruit Mug Editions die set. All right, let's assemble our shaker element. How about we do that? And then we basically just have to stamp a sentiment and assemble our card. Hi, Holly. So glad you popped in. Okay, so let's see here. Let's set these aside for now. And I think I need to grab some adhesives. So give me 1 second while I grab those. So I got my favorite thin foam strips. And then I also have, oh, little middle thing. It sure is not wanting to stay in there, is it? And then I have my really thin double-sided score tape. So to start, we are going to adhere the shaker window or the acetate window to the teacup. I just gotta find the starting point here. Here we go. You know what? I'm just gonna rip it out. Ooh, maybe not. Okay, I'm making a mess. Give me a second. Hold, please. Let me get this figured out here. There we go. I think this will still be fine if it doesn't have that little thing in the middle, because that was just annoying me. Okay, so I am just going to use this thin double-sided adhesive to adhere down the acetate window. This is super thin. It's like, I think it's like an 1/8 inch maybe, or maybe even a 1/16. So it doesn't really curve. So you do have to kind of end it when you come to more of a curvy spot and do it in strips. Now, foam adhesive, if you take the release paper off, which I will do later, you can do the curving. But so this one, you don't have to worry as much about sealing every single part of it because this is just the window piece. It's not the actual window. Okay. It curves a little bit. It does that one side of the mug pretty well, but when you hit that kind of curve, it doesn't really work super well. This is probably me being excessive, but that's okay. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit here. Just really going to make sure this acetate stays in place. Really don't need it here, but we're going to put some anyway. I could even just trim that part away, but nah, we're just going with it. Okay, so now remove all the release paper here, and we will have created the first part of our little shaker window. I could have done this off camera, but I figured at least we'll get to see some of the assembly parts, right? And we're really good on time, so I'm not too worried. That one does not want to let go of the release paper. There we go. Oh, goodness, I took actually, oh no, I didn't. I thought that took the glue with it. Those are good choices, Holly. I do still love coffee though. Okay, so let's get the garbage out of the way. And I do apologize if you can't see this super well, but I do need to be able to adhere it down correctly. All right, there we go. And look at that. Find some glare. We've got our little shaker window. So now is where sealing it and making sure you have a good seal so your shaker mix doesn't come out is important. So let's do that part. So one thing that helps with that, I'll do that in a second here. This should curve pretty easily because it's not super curvy. Yeah. Hi, Barb. Thanks for joining. Glad you're able to pop on. Okay. So then you take release paper, you take it all off, you can actually curve along your shape pretty well. It's a little kind of a sticky process, but it does work. And then you are definitely ensuring that you get a nice good what's the word I'm looking for? Nice good seal. All right, so I'm going to smush that as close as I possibly can to that to avoid there being any gaps. Okay, I'm going to do 2 layers of this because I want the little shaker mix to shake well. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do it one more time. Do one more layer. And then, so you'll notice I do have a tiny bit of a gap right there. And I'll show you guys in a minute how I fix gaps like that. So let's go ahead and add one more layer of foam adhesive to make sure that the shaker mix will actually shake. I am using the clay shaker mix, the clay embellishment mixes today. So sometimes those can be they're a little bit thicker than other elements like sequins and stuff like that. Okay, this one. And then it goes pretty quickly when it's adhering to another piece of foam. And you just do the same thing. Curve it around the shape. This one I get to go over because it's a longer piece of foam tape. And I think we're doing good. Yep, it's not showing through on the other side. Okay. And now I just need a small strip in there. I'm not going to remove the release paper because I don't really need to on this one. But I am going to go ahead and add, actually, I think I'll be okay. I don't think I need to add foam on there, but I can after the fact if need be. Okay, we've got all of the release paper removed here. So let's add some of the shaker mix. This is the strawberry shortcake mix from Pretty Pink Posh. It's one of my favorites. I just think it's so cute. So let's sprinkle some of it directly onto the, oops, getting a little bit wily here. And you just want to make sure you focus it in at the middle so that you have room to adhere it down. And I don't want them to get stuck, so I'm also going to make sure they're not sitting on each other too much. That one's kind of a big chunk that I'm going to remove. I'm glad that's helpful to you, Louise. And I want a couple more of those little strawberry pieces. So I am going to just selectively grab a couple more of those. I want this to be very strawberry filled. Oh, that's not the strawberry one. Come on. There we go. Aren't the clay bits so cute? I love them too. Okay. And then I feel like you need a tiny bit of glitter. So let me grab a glitter mix I have. I'll be right back with it. Okay, this is just a glitter mix I've made from extra leftover item or leftover stuff. It's just like, I think it's a mix of like prism glitter and chunky glitter. And I think there are actually little iridescent stars from Pretty Pink Posh in here too that I mixed in. So we've got just some kind of everyday glitter and then cute little stars from Pretty Pink Posh as well. And I'm just going to shake that over the top of those. And try to do this. Okay, so now let's adhere down our little shaker top, like so. Okay, before I shake too hard, there was that little side right there that some shaker mix can escape. So let me show you what I do when stuff like that happens. I like to just take my liquid glue that has that nice metal, the thin tip, and I just fill it in like so. And then once it sets up, yeah, it will not let any of your glittery shaker mix come out. This side, you know what? There's a little bit of a gap there too. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it in on this side as well. And so it doesn't seep in and it will dry. It will set up and it will dry. And then your shaker mix is safe. So if you don't get a perfect seal, it is okay. It is certainly easy to fix that. But how cute is that little teacup shaker? I just think that's adorable. Thank goodness. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for now. Let's stamp our little secondary sentiment and get it cut out. And then we will get our card assembled. And I am actually done with my card for the day. Oh, thanks, Holly. Thanks, Heather. Okay, let's grab a little Misty. And I just have a piece of scrap cardstock that it's kind of a big one, but it will allow me to put the sentiment on there, die cut it, and then I'll just use it again for a different card. But let's grab this. So I am adding, the main sentiment is the cheers die cut word, but I thought that you're my cup of tea or your tea-rific would be a really cute secondary sentiment because you can absolutely still cheers a cup of tea. Cheers is not only intended for champagne glasses. So, you know, I might cut both because I'm just not, I might stamp and cut out both because I'm not completely sure which one I think will look the best. So we can go ahead and stamp them both, cut them both out, and I will decide after that. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Barb. Thanks, Holly. You're tea-rific, and you're my cup of tea. I think those are so cute. And let me just verify real quick that I'm giving myself enough room for the banner die that I want to use. I'm pretty sure I am. Yep, I sure am. Okay. So we're looking pretty good there. Oh, and I grabbed it. I think I have a little glue on my fingers. Hey. Let go. I probably should have just not messed with it. Okay, there we go. Get that so it sits down flat. And I am just going to use a little bit of Onyx Black VersaFine on these. I'm going to just gently ink them up because I can stamp them twice. Let me verify everything's in the corner. Like that. I'm going to stamp them one more time for good measure. Oh, cute. Look at that. Those are just so darn cute. Okay. Thank you, Louise. Okay. Get those cleaned off and put away. I do love that the little piece of cake has a strawberry on it. That's pretty darn adorable. The whole set's pretty adorable. So I might honestly need to stamp it and break out my watercolor since I don't do marker coloring. Might be kind of a fun set to color. Put those back. All right, now let's cut both of these out. As mentioned, I'm using this nice little banner die here. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut them down like so. And then I can cut them out and then I can make my decision. You're my cup of tea. Oh, so darn cute. Right, I've got a couple extra pieces of tape here. Use the tape that doesn't have a bunch of ink on it. Okay. Get that centered as best I can here. Tape it into place so hopefully it doesn't move on me, because that might make my decision for me. All right, let's cut this guy out. Oh, look at how perfect that is. It's got like the perfect little stitched border. Oh, so cute. All right, well, there's one. Let's cut out the Your Terrific option. Oh, good, that was just a little hair. I thought maybe I got a little smear on it, but I did not. Okay. Get that nice and centered as well. Oops. Okay, that one looks pretty good. Oh, totally doing that off camera. Sorry about that, friends. All right, and then we have the Your Terrific, and those are so cute. I just think those are adorable. I do like punny sentiments as long as they're not like overtly punny, and those are just cute. Okay, we are done with pretty much done with everything. We just need to start assembling and maybe doing a little embellishing here and there. So let me get out some foam tape. So I am trying to use up some rolls of foam tape I have. I am not completely sure if this one is, oh, sorry, I totally shook my whole desk there. I'm not completely sure if this one is scrapbook.com or Thermoweb. It's one of those, but when I moved and was packing, I found that I just had an abundance of foam tape rolls. So I have given myself a rule that I am not allowed to buy any type of foam tape until I actually use what I have on hand. So I have a ton of just the white craft foam that in the past I trim down and I'll make big, large panels. And I will go back to doing that, but I need to pare down the rolls of foam adhesive that I have. So I am trying to work my way through those. And I am going to, I might have to I'm going to do this. I'm going to have to refresh my phone because it looks like my comments aired out. So 1 second here. Okay, got that done. let me do that really quickly. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so my very pink card today. I think it's going to be so fun. I just love it. You know what? I picked this card base, and it's the Dahlia. It's the Dahlia card stock from Spellbinders. But I'm thinking I might switch to a lighter pink. I'm not sure. It's the same color as the strawberries, and it's feeling like a lot, honestly. Or I wonder if I pivot a little bit. No. Nope, I think once I add some fun stuff here, but I am going to change up to a lighter colored card base. So give me 1 second to find some light pink cardstock, and I'm going to switch that out. I actually happen to have a sheet just right there. So let's try this out and see what I think. I may prefer this lighter shade of pink. A sheet of vellum could work too. Oh my goodness, that totally changes it up. You know what? I can try the vellum possibility too. Let me see what if it. That already is better for me, the lighter shade. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if I feel like that mutes it too much. It's actually kind of pretty. Adding the little bit of vellum over top helps the shaker really come to life. So then I need to kind of plan out where I want everything else to go. So this is going to kind of hang off here. And we're going to put a little strawberry on it. And the sentiment is going to probably go here. And you're right, Louise, it does make a big difference. Thank you guys for the suggestions. I think I am going to for sure do the vellum. And I think that is really cute. Not sure if I'm going with cup of tea or your tea-rific yet. And then we'll just embellish. Yeah, okay. Thank you all for the suggestion on the vellum. I'm definitely going to do that. I think I'll cut it just a little bit smaller so that a little bit of the color peeks out on the edge. So let me do that really quickly and I'll be right back. Okay, so that is 4, need it to be 3.75, 5. And that was a perfect way to tone that down. Thank you all for the suggestion. I appreciate that so much because that looks so much better. Okay, now I'm filling it. Now I'm filling the lighter colored card base and then the vellum to kind of tone down that background a little bit. Make the shaker the star of the show here. Okay. You know what? I'm going to flip this because I think it ended up a little longer on the front. There we go. There's that. And then this will be perfect. Just like that. A little bit of the edge showing. This in the middle. Oops. So with this, oh, I am bending my little strawberry piece all over. So with this in the middle, I can put glue on the vellum just right smack in the middle as well. Okay. For that, I'll just use, actually, I do have, I thought I did. I actually have vellum glue tape, so I think I'll use that as well. Oh, that's funny. Okay, maybe, perfect. All right, I'm just gonna make a little, I think I got it on there. Oh no, none came out. I do this the wrong way. Oh goodness. Maybe I'm not gonna use this tape. Oh, there we go. Man, it is not a happy camper. So supposedly vellum adhesive is not supposed to show, but it totally does. So maybe it's old, but I don't really care that it shows because I'm going to cover it up. Okay. So there we have that. Oh, that's so cute. And I can totally shake it now because that liquid glue has set up on each side. Look at how fun that is. Just love it. Okay. So now these are from the Teacup Shaker die set. So I think I'm trying to decide how I want to hook this on here. So we're going to hook it in like this, I think. Like that. I think that's really cute. Okay, so I've got my little hook where I want it, just like so. So let's grab a little bit of, just use this double-sided adhesive. A very fun card. It is definitely that. And then I'm just going to stick it down. And I just won't remove that release paper. I'll just leave it on there, and then it kind of will hook right on the side, gently on the side, and go right in place there. But I think I'm going to put a little bit of foam tape on the back of the tag. Where did I put that? Oh, it's over here. Thanks, Marianne. So let's do that real quick. A couple of thin strips here. And then I think that will be super cute. Doesn't want to hook very well because of the foam tape, but I think I'll just have to kind of force it. There we go. All right, so you guys, while I'm finishing up some of these little details, let me know if you think which secondary sentiment should I use? The "You're my cup of tea" or "You're terrific"? Okay, then I'm gonna add a little liquid glue on the back of this. Just kind of hook it on there. Just want it to stay in place. Oh, it's sticking to me. You're terrific. Okay. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. I just love it. All right, so then I think we're gonna kind of do them a little bit like that. maybe one up here, or maybe up here. Or, ooh, that's cute. No. All right, let's do it. Both work. Let's see. Terrific. 1, 2. Couple. It's a tie. That's not helpful. All right. Apparently, you all are going to make me. Oh, wait. Cup of tea, cup of tea. Terrific. Yeah, it's tie. Cheers. You're my cup of tea. You're terrific. Let me see what it looks like. Okay. Still is a tie. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I am going to do the Your Tea-rific because that could be sent on like a birthday or something. It's a little bit more celebratory, but I will still use this in an upcoming card for sure. So that I think is what my mindset is going to do, is thinking of this as being able to send it for like a birthday or something. Yeah, y'all are no help. Basically, you gave it all. You basically made it tied. Okay. So I am just going to glue this down directly to the banner. First things first. Maybe scooch it over a little bit here. Oh, hi, Paulina. Thank you. I'm assuming that's Paulina. Maybe it's Paul. But look at how cute that is, friends. Oh, goodness. Okay. Let's put a little, ooh, I gotta make sure. I don't need to put it all the way to the edge, I don't think. So just about to the end of the sentiment there. So about right there. I'm just gonna have to make another one that uses my Your Cup of Tea element. Okay, so you know what? I need to actually start gluing some things down here. So let's do that. So I have this little thing here. Okay. So these ones, still not sure if I want that strawberry there or if I want to maybe put it here. I think that's a lot of strawberries in one place, so I think tucking it up here makes more sense. Yep. Okay. Let's glue this guy down first. Oh, it's Paulina. Hi, friend. So glad you popped on for a sec. I'm glad you're loving this set, Louise. Isn't it cute? And I love how it partnered with the fruit mug additions and the strawberry shortcake shaker mix, clay mix. Okay, so let's move those for a sec and get this guy glued down. Okay. Get that nice and centered. Okay. Then we can place our little grouping of strawberries down here. Right. Thanks, Leanne. Okay, 1 strawberry. 2 strawberry. And then this guy. My goodness. Look at how cute this is. Love it. Okay. And we'll stick our sentiment on here. About like that. And I think we're done, friends. Oh, I did not stick that in soon enough. It got a little gummed up on me. There we go. All right, I'll set that aside for a later date, but look at how fun that cute little shaker turned out. I love it. I'm almost feeling like it needs another strawberry up here, so I might cut another one and add it up there. We'll see. You'll have to wait for the final photos on that. All right, so I hope you guys like that. Let me grab, we've got still about 3 or 4 minutes. So let me grab my little rainbow cards that I made for today. And I'll show you guys those in person as well. So these are the cards I made that they're up on my Instagram, my Facebook, and on my blog as well. So, but I made these fun rainbow cards with the new wreath builder set. That's where all of the rainbow colored foliage came from. And they feature one of the new friendship sentiment sets, which I love. I used it a lot. I stamped every sentiment out. These are what I have left over thus far, but I'm sure I will use them. So, and then these are the new notched squares. They're so cute. And then I paired them with the butterfly border die from the last release that I didn't get a chance to use. And they really partnered together perfectly. And it's just another good showing of how well Pretty Pink Posh's products work together from release to release. So definitely keep that in mind when you are freshening up your collection. So I hope you guys like my little strawberry shortcake shaker card today. I think it turned out super fun. I'm loving the tea themed and strawberry themed goodness going on here. As mentioned, I was inspired by a card that Wanda Guest made for the release where she added strawberries to her teacup. So I did mine a little bit differently with turning it into a shaker and just using the strawberries more as little accents. But I was certainly by her beautiful card for sure. All right. Well, I am going to flip my camera around back to me and say goodbye. Oh, there we go. I'm sad that you guys joined me today for my Pretty Pink Posh live, my strawberry tea themed card. Thanks for spending the last hour with me here. For those of you watching on replay, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the video's comments. And I check comments a couple times a day. So I will answer them as soon as I can. But other than that, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm glad you guys loved it. Thank you. Yes, I agree with Heather Paulina. I hope the release is going amazing today. It's such great product. I can't imagine it isn't. But thank you, friends, Louise and Leanne. Thank you, Delina. I appreciate it. Thank you, Louise and Holly. And thank you guys for spending a little bit of your afternoon with me. All right, I am still trying to work on more of a live schedule. So if you don't get my emails, that's a great way to know when I'm going live. And there is a link for signing up for those in the video description if you haven't yet. So definitely do that if you would like this type of stuff just sent directly to you, reminders and such. You can also always check my Instagram, my Facebook page for all of that information as well. Delina, there is not a coupon code for this release. So, okay. All right, friends, we are right at an hour. I am going to let you go so that I can get ready to go work out. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Talk to you later. Bye.